Say hello to a new friend on an old road. Take a two-lane trip of memories into mysteries unknown. Come along for the ride. Jim Hinckley's America. Jim Hinckley's America.
Hey, good morning, my friends. You know, I never get enough of music from Joe and Woody and the boys of the Road Crew. They're the originators of our great theme song there, but their website, roadcrew66.com, you can always count on that for a little bit of road trip inspiration. If you need a theme song for your road trip, that's a good place to start. Another beautiful day here. Touch of fall, at least what we call fall here in Arizona. In the mornings, if you get out for a sunrise walkabout, you can feel a tad bit of a chill. High temperature today is going to be a chilly 85. Gets a little bit cooler, gets around 80. I'll start looking for my long underwear. Speaking of cooler temperatures, we're going to be taking a trip to Flagstaff, Arizona this morning with Lisa Kissinger, and talking about the classic Americana Motor Hotel. So that should be a great road trip. The vintage motels on Route 66 are very, they're an endangered property. And they've...
Unknown caller.
Just one second here. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Jim. How are you today?
I am doing fine. How about yourself?
You know, I am in actually fabulous Las Vegas, so I'm not enjoying the cooler weather of Flagstaff at the moment.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem at all.
I came into Vegas for a visit.
Well, how are things in Las Vegas then?
You know, it's a little warm and smoky here, so I'm missing Flagstaff at the moment.
Oh, yeah. It's made for some great sunsets and sunrises, but this smoke, it's like I'm trapped. A couple of days ago, it was like I was trapped in the world's largest campfire.
Yes, that's the way it is feeling at the moment. And you see falling ash, so it's a little strange.
Yes. You know, I am so thank you for taking time from your day off this early in the morning.
It's absolutely my pleasure to spend time with you and your listeners.
Jessica May's with us. She's with Route 66 EV and the Historic Electric Vehicle Foundation, and she says, "Welcome to Vegas."
Well, thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to meet you.
You know, I was started talking about the historic hotels, not just on Route 66, but vintage motels are a real rarity on Route 66, and well, all the old highways. But we're seeing a resurgence in people realizing the value. But your property really is unique and special in this. I have yet, to be honest, I have yet to visit the property since it's been remodeled. But everything I'm hearing, like from Sean Evans and Flagstaff and other travelers like Austin Coop that facilitated our introductions, Austin's with Two Lane America, it sounds like you have managed to find that magic formula that blurs the line between past and present to give these motels a new lease on life.
That is correct. We took the best of the past and the best of the current, and as you said, combined them together, and we're super excited with this property. We just surpassed our first year of our opening. When the property was purchased, it had seen some better days. It was originally opened in 1962, so $20 million was put into this property to bring it what it is today, the retro 70s vibe with the space theme, which of course Flagstaff is known for, our space exploration. And combine the best of those worlds. And all with, modern touches. We have the EV charging station. We're a very green property. When you get a welcome beverage, if you choose to have a water, the water bottle that you get is reusable metal. So we're excited for that as well. But there's just so many touches within this property. And I would love if these walls could talk, because I'm sure the history from 1962 is amazing. This back in 1962 was the property to stay at, the motor lodge to stay at on Route 66. It's got some great history going back to Easy Rider. We had a stay from Elvis at the property. Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper, who actually were in the movie Easy Rider, did stay at the property and did some collaborating on the movie back in the day. So it does have a really amazing history.
Gosh, was this a chain hotel? It's such a large property. You have close to 80 rooms?
We have 88 rooms,
88.
and it is not a chain. This is the first of its existence, and who knows, it could continue down Route 66. We'll see what the owner has to bring in the future. But fingers crossed, I would love to see it popping up along the way in other areas of Route 66.
It's very unusual to see a property of this size that has been, number one, survived, number two, renovated. And that's why I was asking if I was curious if when it first opened in 1962, if it was a chain.
No, at that time, no. To my knowledge, it was an independent property, and has just continued on from there. Never picked up by an actual hotel chain, because it's such a unique property. It's not such as your others, as you see along the way that are branded. But again, would love to see it branded of its own.
Oh, I think that would be quite interesting indeed. Professor Nolan Stoltz in South Carolina he has a question. He's curious why you rent this particular property instead of other motels on Route 66 or in Flagstaff.
I believe that the owner of this property saw a great vision and brought that vision to fruition with the help of Andrew Alford, who is tied to Graduate Hotels. With his collaboration, they just saw a vision of what it could be and brought back to. And I believe that they brought that to fruition.
Yes. Well, the property fascinates me. I'm just really so excited to see these type of properties coming back, being given a new lease on life. And
exactly.
There's a few on Route 66, but most are very small properties. It makes it difficult for them to compete, compete. Yeah. Well, it's difficult to compete profitably and cater to tour groups and things of that nature. The Americana Motor Hotel, you seem to have really struck a neat blending. And I was fascinated by some of the amenities you offer.
We are unique in that respect, Jim. We're a very pet friendly property. We have a bark park on our property, which has a wash station for those that may have gone out hiking for the day and need to give Fido a little bath. We offer a welcome beverage when you come into the property, either alcoholic or non-alcoholic. But as you enter the lobby itself, it's very colorful, very retro styled, but also still has the Route 66 ingrained into it. If you look at our front desk, which is like the original check-in front desk back in the day with the old time rack for the brochures. But on either side of the desk, there is a canoe, which has the Roman numerals of 66 for Route 66, the colorful tile, the colorful skylights. We even have a wall that has ski poles. And if you look at the right angle, you will see the mountain that is right behind us, the view. That it's actually a taped rendition, and it creates those ridges. So it's just so many little details that went into this property. And of course, the disco balls in the rooms are the talk of everybody that comes into this property, and people come back just to see those again.
The disco balls. I didn't catch where it was at. I'll have to ask Stephanie. Stephanie Stuckey recently posted something, and I'll have to talk to her about this. But a truck stop somewhere has installed disco balls in their restrooms. That's become quite a thing. Do you have the original signage on the property?
We do not, but the signage is a rendition of the original. It is almost exactly in the same place as what the original sign was as well. We had to kind of move it to make, the roadway wide enough for the entrance and exit, but it is a rendition of the original sign.
Yeah, I've looked at early postcards, and it looks very close to the original signage. It is. That really makes a difference on capturing that period feel.
Yes. A lot of, like I said, the original touches came back, which we were excited to see because, again, those that may have traveled, had the opportunity to take a trip and stayed at the original Americana can kind of still see the similarities of those days.
Yeah. I always have to smile because when we hear vintage and retro in reference to the 1970s, I was graduating from high school in the early 70s. So it's hard to think in those terms, but that's another story for another day. And you also do bicycle rentals or have bicycles available?
We do. We have bicycles in our lobby for those that want to go out and explore Flagstaff. And I have to tell you, Jim, to be honest, I had not visited Flagstaff in all of my years that I resided in Las Vegas. So driving to this area to meet with the general manager, Zach Miller, about the position that I'm currently in, I was amazed at the beauty of this because you think it's going to be deserty like Phoenix, like Kingman, correct? And when going up there and being able to go and tootle around the town on a bicycle and just see the beauty and the nature that Flagstaff has is absolutely amazing. And to add to that, we are the first international dark sky city. We have telescopes that also you can go out into our backyard, which we have the fire pits going, seating, hammocks if you choose to, but you can grab a telescope and go out and view these beautiful night skies that are so clear because we don't have all that extra lighting that most cities have. So we have some extra things that the guests can enjoy just for being part of our environment that we have at the property, as well as, we have our pool, which is infamous in our city. It is open 365 days a year. It is heated to 85 degrees. And so there's so much to enjoy outdoors: bicycles, telescopes, fire pits. If you wish to do s'mores, we have all the makings for those as well. So you don't even have to leave the property really to enjoy everything Flagstaff has, but there is definitely a lot to do in Flag, of course.
Yeah, Flagstaff's a unique city. It's got a unique vibe. Part of that being a college town, but it's also unique in the sense that it's an all-season vacation destination, from skiing to just escaping the desert, having a little bit cooler temperatures. Are you originally from Las Vegas, or?
I moved to Las Vegas when I was in my early years. I was in elementary school, originally from Pennsylvania. So it was kind of nice for me to escape the heat of Las Vegas to Flagstaff. And I have to tell you, Jim, there's some mornings when I have to close my windows when I get up because it's in the mid 40s already.
I have done, in my younger years, I spent some time in those nasty M places, Montana, Minnesota, Michigan. But I've been out here in the desert country so long now that it gets below 80. I start looking for my long underwear.
And I can absolutely say it's the same thing in Las Vegas.
Yes.
So we do get a lot of snow in Flag. It is one of the snowiest cities. So it's going to be an interesting winter.
Is this your first winter in Flag?
In Flag, yes, it will be. And I've not experienced a winter like this since I lived in Pennsylvania.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a little bit different.
It
Uh,
will be. I'm looking forward to it, actually.
yeah, it's like the beautiful thing about out here and like Flagstaff or Vegas, but the beautiful thing about it is compared to like Pennsylvania, with a very short drive, you can adjust your seasons. Flagstaff, you mentioned the deserts of Phoenix and Kingman.
Yes.
150 miles west out here in Kingman, and we've got snow up on the Wallapai Mountains, 12 miles from town. But
Right.
basically, we have pretty mild winters. We have just enough snow in Kingman, so you realize how beautiful it is and why you don't live in the snow country. And so it's never much. And in the summertime, Kingman's pretty gets warm, not as warm as the river country, and then just a short drive to Flagstaff, and gosh, there you go, ski resorts.
Exactly. Yeah, we get a lot of those that are escaping the heat, not realizing that we're so much cooler than Kingman. And I've noticed that as I drive to Las Vegas, how much the temperature changes as I get closer to Kingman. But yeah, we're just 2 hours away from Phoenix. So that is a huge draw for us as well. So we're always welcoming those that are escaping, enjoying. And yes, the skiing is, from what I hear, absolutely amazing. I'm excited to see what the Snow Bowl brings this year.
Yeah, that should make things for interesting. Do you is there there's always good dining in Flagstaff, a variety of dining opportunities. Do you have
There,
you have a restaurant on site or close by that you?
we We do. We have a restaurant by the name of Baja Mar that is on site. It's a walk up window. They also operate a food truck. And Jim, I have to tell you, one of my first events I went to in the city, everybody kept asking me where the gentleman by the name of Armando was. And I finally looked at my general manager and I said, "Who is Armando?" Because I'd not had the pleasure of meeting him. And he said, he is the owner of Baja Mar. And he is infamous in the city because his food, which is Sonora styled Mexican food, is I almost say he has a cult following because people they look for his food truck or come to the property just for his food. So we're excited that guests that do stay with us get a 10% discount. They can grab the food, and we do have a dining area within the lobby itself, or they're welcome to take it to the backyard and dine as well in our beautiful, lush landscape that we have out there. But we're very blessed to have him and his crew with us.
Have you? I know this is kind of a recent endeavor for you, but are you starting to generate some attention from tour companies yet?
Absolutely, we are. And, most of the tours are in place for next year already. So we're looking forward to 2026 and those that may have overflow for 2025. But we have a great parking lot that, can accommodate large buses. So we're looking forward to seeing the bus tours, as well as we get so much traction, Jim, from the international market because it is such a unique vibe that people want to come experience on their travels, whether going to Phoenix or to Vegas or to Grand Canyon, of course. And I've even had guests that we've been on a sold out weekend and they've come in so we had to come see it because we hear so much about your property in our country. So it's a big international destination and looking forward more to dealing with the tour companies.
Yes, that's how, of course, how our introduction came about is through Austin Coop with Tulane America. It's a real
Yes.
pleasure to work with Austin. He's just a great fellow. And the other connection to of course, the market for you is, of course, this Route 66, which just I have trouble. I say this often. I'm never short of words, but I just have trouble finding adequate ways to describe what Route 66 is today, and the international fascination, domestic and international fascination with that highway.
Agreed. It is definitely. And as you know, we're coming up very quickly. I know it's 2026, but it'll be here in no time to the bicentennial of this Route 66, which we are very much looking forward to being a part of course, because being that the age of the property and the history. But Route 66, I mean, how many songs are based on Route 66 and how many still talk about the road that stretches so far across America that people, I've had so many, especially those on motorcycles, that we started at the beginning and we're going to the end. That's just the ride of their dreams.
Yeah.
But it is hard to picture. And there's still so much that originality. Of course, times have changed along the way, but you can still see some of the original touches along the Route 66, especially in Flagstaff.
Yeah, people want authenticity, but not too much authenticity. You don't see a lot of people wanting to drive to Vegas without air conditioning in their car in the middle of July.
No, heck no.
But to give you an idea on the Route 66 popularity, last week, 2 weeks ago, the third European Route 66 festival in Prague, tens of thousands of people turned out to celebrate Route 66, American cars, Harley Davidson, music, and that was the third European Route 66 festival. It's
wow,
pretty.
I love that. That is absolutely amazing. And, even still to this day, we do deal with a lot of the car clubs as well. Like the Route 66 Car Club was on our property a couple weekends ago with an event that we held. And it's still, we love having seeing that, they're gathering at their old cars and they're still celebrating. And so it's exciting to hear that that's internationally celebrated.
Yeah, I work. In fact, this morning before the program, I was talking with Wolfgang and Anja from Route 66 Germany. They're leading their last tour of the season down Route 66 in the next couple weeks, the next week or so. From Route 66 Germany. There's Route 66 associations in, the Czech Republic, Germany, Netherlands, Japan, that all organize events, things of that nature. Now, you mentioned the EV charging stations. Jessica May, that's with us this morning, is with Route 66 EV, organizes all kinds of events, has a great website about traveling Route 66 in electric vehicles.
That's exciting.
There are so many facets to that story.
There is, I bet.
I just had a question come up. Do you also have a small conference room or anything on site?
We do not, but I can tell you we've had some really fun events utilizing our lobby because we do have the ability to close it and move our front desk check-in. So we've done some fun events in our lobby because it's so colorful, it's so unique. It's not your typical conference style of room, but we've had some wedding receptions, cocktail hours, those types of things. We do work with an off-site venue that does offer just conference space. It's less than half a mile from us. So we do have that ability to house the guests and then work with the venue to help them set up the conference.
Okay. Very good. I had just had that question pop up, so I thought I'd ask that. Gosh darn. This is my mind's just racing here. This is so exciting. This has got to be one of the largest vintage motels that's been brought to life on Route 66. Like I say, I know quite a few of the motels on Route 66 that have been restored, and most are 20 rooms or less.
Right.
So this is very, very exciting. Yeah,
it is. Exciting. And to carry the theme through all 88 rooms that we do have, Jim, that was something that was really important and something that we highly maintain. I mean, everything in the rooms is special ordered, right down to all the furniture and such. So we take great care in the property. Wear and tear does not show. That's something that we allow, and something that General Manager Zach Miller takes great pride in showing this property. I know back in my days in the hotels in Las Vegas, I had to walk a room to make sure that it looked appropriate. All of my rooms at this property are showrooms. I never have to walk a room to show it. Gosh. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And we have rooms that have one full bed. We have rooms with a queen bed and then rooms that have two queen beds. So we have a great variety of room types.
Very, very exciting. This is, you mentioned the Route 66 Centennial. I'm very curious to see how this plays out. We took a pretty hard hit with the apocalypse of 2020.
Right.
And tourism, I don't think's fully recovered, especially our international tourism. But unless we burn the country down this fall with the elections or have another apocalypse, I think 26 is going to be rather extraordinary.
I hope it brings everything that is being planned. And as I said, we plan to play a huge part in that. So we're very excited to see everything that's going to come about. I mean, a lot is still in the planning stage. It's a huge undertaking that the city is doing. So it'll be fun. And I know tidbits of what's going on, not everything complete as of yet, but it's going to be an event that hopefully we will see you for, Jim.
Well, yeah, I've got to come up and see the property. I just have to. I stayed there, and I'm trying to remember. I got snowed in. This would be, gosh, this is kind of embarrassing to tell these stories, but I was driving trucks at the time, and I had a layover in Flagstaff. So this would probably be around 78, 79, somewhere in there, maybe 79. So it's been a few years.
It has been, yes. Yeah. You need to definitely come visit.
Yes.
And see everything. I mean, Flagstaff, like I said, Flagstaff as a whole. I mean, you've got the observatory, which is opening a new area in November with outdoor seating and heated seating at that, which I think is super important, of course, in our area. But there's just so much going on in our little city at all times. You will be a busy guy.
Yeah, I've always liked Flagstaff. It's got a different feel than a lot of communities. You know, speaking of something else that popped in my head too, not only do we have the 26, not only do we have the course of the Route 66 centennial, but it's the 250th anniversary of the United States. And what better place to tell America's story than on the main street of America, Route 66? And it's also the 90th anniversary for the first printing of the Green Book for the Negro Motorist. So, gosh, the anniversary celebrations and things we can put together for 2026 pretty much only limited by the imagination and available funding.
Exactly. You are so correct there. There is a lot to celebrate in the year of 2026. So it'll be fun to put it on. We can have like a whole year-long celebration, right?
Yeah, you know, I really see that. I can see where a person could put together events where doing a bit of research, having an anniversary celebration of different things that's happened on Route 66, such as the filming of Easy Rider and its release, which is now, of course, just an absolute cult classic.
Right. And I love that it was filmed along Route 66 and that the Americana Motor Hotel was part of that back in the day. That's such a great memory for our property.
Was it a place where the cast stayed, or was it actually a filming location? Do you know?
It was where they filmed around the property, but Peter Fonda and Dennis Quaid themselves did stay at the property and collaborated about the movie. So we have that little notch in our belt, which is fun for us. We did have it. Yeah, even the king himself, Elvis Presley, stayed at our property back in the day.
You know, I have to ask, you wouldn't happen to have a signed guest register from Elvis, would you?
You know, I would love to say yes, but no, unfortunately, we do not. Wouldn't that be amazing?
It would be.
For any of them.
Do you have knowledge of any other celebrity associations?
Those are the only ones that we have confirmed. I'm sure there are many more.
Yes, I'm sure, because Flagstaff is such a popular place and has been a stop for years. And then, of course, it's a stop for people in the winter when they close the highway, as I can attest to. That doesn't happen very often. I like the fact that you've also gone with a space theme here, being a dark sky city. And you also provide, on request, telescopes?
telescopes. Isn't that exciting? Because like I said, I even go outside of my place at night and just look up because the skies are just stunning in our area. I don't know if you realize that 12 of the astronauts that have gone to the moon have actually trained in Flagstaff because they have created a crater that simulates what the moon surface is like. And of course, we had a planet that was discovered in Flagstaff because our skies are just so clear and so stunning. There's nights where you can see the Milky Way. So we tell people that are staying, grab a telescope, go out, with your beverage and sit in the backyard and just be amazed by what you see up in the skies.
Flagstaff, we have a tendency sometimes to get myopic and we just see Route 66 or a ski resort. But there's so many things. You mentioned the observatory, Lowell Observatory there that's a great attraction. That's very fascinating to see. Right outside of town, you have Walnut Canyon, the historic cliff dwellings, just right outside of town, and a Sunset Crater. Gosh, there's so many things right in that area. A person could easily set up camp at Americana Motor Hotel, and you could spend a week in that area pretty easy without getting bored.
By all means. I mean, you're a hop, skip, and a jump to Grand Canyon if you want to do a tour, or Antelope Canyon, which I heard is life-changing when you go to Antelope Canyon. So, and there's hiking for those that want to hike. I mean, you can even just walk through town. You've got historic downtown Flagstaff, which is the originality of the old-time shops and restaurants. We have so many breweries that make ales and IPAs that are sold throughout the country, but have become award-winning beers. So there's so much within Flagstaff to do, and originality to the areas as well.
Do you know if Alpine Pizza is still operating down on San Francisco Street?
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Gosh, I'm way overdue.
One of your favorites?
Yeah, and I haven't stopped there in about 4 years, I guess. But yeah, it used to be an absolute regular of ours coming through Flagstaff. That is great to see that they have survived. I guess they've been there at least 45 years or more, 50 years.
Right.
Ooh.
Right. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of restaurants that have survived throughout the years, and of course those, unfortunately, that have not.
Yeah.
You got to keep up with the times, right? But we have some really great original type of food, as I said, even with right down to ours, with the Mexican restaurant. So you're never at a loss of food to eat, that's for sure.
Well, anybody who sees me knows that I enjoy my good food when we travel. It's starting to catch up with me. I'm starting to look like somebody force-fed me a watermelon, but that's another story too. And what you're doing here is I find it fascinating, the vision that's gone into the hotel restoration, because there again, myopia. Some of the people feel when they restore one of these Route 66 properties, restaurants or otherwise, that they have to recreate, and they end up turning it into Disneyland. And that's not what people want. You've got to find that balance between historic authenticity, creating the atmosphere, capturing keeping the architectural details of the period, and giving that feel that it's vintage, but then adding the modern touches like the space telescopes, the bicycle rentals, EV charging. These things are so important.
Agreed. I come from the land of hotels, right, in Las Vegas. So for me, originality and uniqueness are definitely what I look for, and why I ventured out of Las Vegas. When I saw this property, I absolutely fell in love with it. It's the rooms are super comfortable. I'm not even going to lie. I got to stay in the hotel, but to be surrounded by the like wood paneling, and it actually feels like wood, the retro style rug, the coloring, the black and white and red of the bathrooms, which go along with the whole space design and theme of NASA. Just like I said, the different touches, it's still very original. You have your coffee maker, you have a little orange refrigerator in your room, a small refrigerator, still the original touches, but still feeling retro.
Right. Well, we talk about this, a lot of people bemoan things, and I kind of smile at this a lot. People talk about that they want authenticity, not the Disneyland. And like I say, striking that balance. They want authenticity, but not really. They don't want, they're kind of picky. And it wasn't that long ago, I have some AAA motel guides here from the 1950s when one of the big draws was every room has a radio. I think most people would want a TV today. So authenticity is subjective.
Correct. Yes, we do. I mean, in going back to being original, we don't do an ice bucket, which of course most hotel rooms have to have an ice bucket and ice machine, right? We do a little igloo cooler. So if you're going out for the day, you can take your cooler with you, fill it up with the ice before you head out, and then utilize that as well. It works as well just for an ice bucket if you need it in your room. So we still have the original touches that you would expect, but made it a little bit of a broader spectrum.
Yeah, very good. And you're on Facebook at Americana Motor Hotel. And
Correct.
And the website's easy enough, AmericanaMotorHotel.com. We can't get much easier than that.
Exactly so. And we're also on Instagram at Americana Motor Hotel. We're always advertising our specials. We've got a lot going on, especially for the winter coming up, holiday. Zach Miller is going all out with what he's bringing into the fold, which, Jim, I will bring you up to date with when everything is in place. But we're talking an ice skating rink, food vendors, a lot more being added to that, because we don't want to just be in the community, Jim. We want to be part of the community. So we do a lot of charity events, which we hold at the property. We recently did one for the High Country Humane Society, a dog event for adoptions, brought Route 66 Car Club. We had one of the breweries donate some beer for us, and all the proceeds were going to the High Country. We've also done the Shadows Foundation, which is in Flagstaff as well. We did a first responder event, a pool volleyball with first responders. So we're always venturing out. Oktoberfest, Friday the 4th, we're going to have a band playing, which will... proceeds will go to a cancer foundation. It's called Pinks and Pints, appropriately named for breast cancer awareness. And so we're always looking to do some events that benefit our community and those in need.
And building a sense of community is, gosh, all projects, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what it is, but all projects, tourism related, have to be focused on building a sense of community. With Route 66, that takes on a little broader scale because you're not only building a community in Flagstaff, but Route 66 is it's a linear community. It's America's longest small town. So the more we put these things together, the more of a sense of community that's created. You have an Oktoberfest, right, coming up
We
in
do
Flagstaff.
on Friday the 4th. We have it's Cancer Support Community of Northern Arizona is who we're holding this benefit for. We have Mike Reeves, who is a band out of Phoenix, who's also performing at Oktoberfest the following day, performing for us from 5:30 to 8:30. We have one of the breweries jumping in, several food trucks available. So it'll be food and beverage and music, all free of charge for those that want to come enjoy. We're doing a raffle drawing, and the proceeds from that drawing are going to the cancer support community. It'll just be a fun event for people to gather, enjoy the property, see everything we have to offer, but come together as a community and help those in need is what we love to do.
Well, one of the things I'll have to do, I was just thinking of this too, kind of unrelated to that, but I was compiling in my head a list of tour companies I'll have to send to you, tour companies that I work with. And
Beautiful.
I think that they would really appreciate this property very, very much. This is
absolutely.
what they're looking for.
It's definitely, I just hosted a familiarization group from Germany and had 3 of them return on their own because they just loved the property. They said on our stop through, we had to make a special stop in Flagstaff so we could enjoy the property instead of just the hurry. We checked in, we ran to a dinner. We want to see Flagstaff and just, so that's exciting to me that we have international travelers that come back.
Yes,
so
yes.
I would tour groups. I love to have them as well, because again, you can stay. I always call them the cookie cutter hotels. Forgive me, but you can stay at those. A hotel's a hotel. We want an experience.
Yeah, and an experience is what people are craving, and especially since COVID.
Yes.
The generic motels, there's a place for them, obviously. And there's nothing wrong with Holiday Inn Express or Best Western or any of these chains, but if you want something like you said, an experience, they don't offer it. They don't. It's something they can't provide, and
Right.
gosh, it's exciting, very exciting. The restoration was you just opened recently, like last year.
Yes, we just surpassed our 1-year anniversary, so we're now into our 2nd year of operation. First year, it went well, but we're all as coming out of COVID, as you said, kind of shunned everybody from traveling a little bit, but people are getting out more. And as you know, with international, they book their travel usually 6 months in advance. So now we're seeing the all of those folks starting to come in, as well as more local people are getting out and traveling a lot more.
Yeah, COVID. One of the silver lining from COVID, the road trip kind of fell out of favor with Americans. And COVID changed that. Sales of RVs soared. People
Right.
started getting out more. And in the United States, we unfortunately, and we won't delve into the politics of these things, but we don't do the 2-week vacation. We just don't here in this country anymore. But we do 3 and 4 day weekends. And for people in Phoenix or Tucson or Las Vegas or even Los Angeles, Flagstaff is ideal for an extended weekend getaway.
Oh, could not agree more. Because like I said, it's not just a pit stop. There's more to do in Flagstaff than just sleep and head out the road.
Lisa, gosh, I'm so appreciative that you would take your time on a day off this early to talk with us. I just really am appreciative. And I will holler at you. I'm heading east for my fall tour in late October and through early November. And we'll see if I can give you a holler when I come through.
We would love to have you and all of your listeners stay with us, experience Flagstaff, the Americana Motor Hotel. And I can say it's been a great pleasure spending the morning with you, Jim. It was worth Lisa. Getting up and getting that coffee on as early as I did.
Well, thank you. We got folks with us from Michigan and South Carolina and, Las Vegas.
Of course.
And Scotland.
Oh, my goodness. All over the world, you've got them coming in. I love it. Well, if there's any information that anybody needs, my direct email is simply lisa@americanamotorhotel.com. Feel free to reach out to me, ask questions. If you need any further info, if you'd like to come in and see the property, I'm always available.
Lisa, thank you very, very much. I will have this podcast published later today. It'll be on Spotify and other podcast platforms. And of course, we've made some arrangements with sponsors and others to have embedded players so people can listen to the podcast at their convenience. We have this on the B, which is the largest tri-state news service for the Colorado River Valley. We've got it on the Jim Hinckley's America website, of course. The Kingman Tours website also has an embedded player. You can listen to this program. And we're getting a few other sources out there for you, so we can get some pretty wide distribution. Because, well, what I do here is share America's story and inspire road trips by telling people where to go. One of my God-given talents, telling people where to go.
And you are darn good at it, Jim, I have to tell you.
Lisa, thank you so very much. I've enjoyed this immensely, and hopefully we've inspired a road trip or two.
Well, I hope so. And for you as well, kind sir. I hope to see you in the very near future.
Thank you, Lisa. You have a great day.
You do the same. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was a great visit with Lisa. I'm very excited to see this on a multitude of levels, the restoration of these historic properties. And the World Monuments Fund several years ago noted that historic motels along Route 66, but this could be said for historic motels in general. They are very endangered properties. And to see them given a new lease on life, especially a property of this size with more than 80 rooms, well, that's pretty exciting. If you got any questions, please type them in here or give me a call. We can do that either way. I wanted to give a shout out. Next week, we are going to have some fun too. We're going to be talking with Pam Mitchell. We're going to be taking a road trip to Kansas next Sunday. Excuse me. Pam is with tourism and the Chamber of Commerce in Baxter Springs, Kansas. And I understand that she's taking on the role of president for the Kansas Route 66 Association. Kansas is, when it comes to Route 66, Kansas is very short on miles, but they're not short on smiles. There's less than 15 miles of Route 66 in Kansas from the Missouri border to Oklahoma. But there's sure a lot of stuff crowded in there. We won't provide spoilers for this, but Pam can fill us in next week. Everything from Civil War battlefields to museums to nature preserves, all kinds of neat things sandwiched in here. We gave a shout out earlier today to our good friends at Route Trip USA. If you want to plan a great trip, but you don't want to bog down in the details of planning, I got a couple solutions for you. Route Trip USA is one. My good friend Stephen and his wife Chantel, they run a top-notch. They've got great packages, and they also offer all kinds of great road trip tours in the United States and Canada. And they're like us. They like to be firsthand. They don't like to recommend things that they don't have some knowledge of. And if that's the case, they hire consultants to help develop these tours. And it's my distinct pleasure to be one of those consultants. Again, telling people where to go. It's what I do. And speaking of vintage motels, like we have been this morning, well, I got a couple. I always try to recommend the Wagon Wheel Motel in Cuba, Missouri, with Connie Eccles as the proprietor. Another one of those opportunities to blur the line between past and present. This is one of the oldest continuously operated motels on Route 66, dating to the mid-1930s. A little bit further to the west, of course, my good friend David Brenner at the Roadrunner Lodge Motel in Tucumcari, New Mexico. This is an interesting property, and we've talked about this before. One side of the property is a 1940s motel, and then in the 1960s, they built Leatherwood Manor as a nice modern two-story motel that they connected to the 1940s motel. David has renovated the 1960s property and done a beautiful job, receives a lot of accolades and awards. Check out the Tiki Room, by the way. He hasn't started on the 1940s property yet, but he's got some ambitious ideas. And then, of course, in McLean, Texas, and McLean is it's not a ghost town, but it's flirting with it. But never judge a book by its cover. McLean has a lot of interesting places, a lot of surprises, and one of them is the Cactus Inn Motel, a mid 1950s little motel next to the Red River Steakhouse that Angela Moreland has put together. Just fantastic. Just a neat place. And then there's the Cactus Rose Tap Room downtown next to the city complex. It's always a great way to spend an evening in McLean, Texas. And of course, McLean has the little bit of trivia for you. My pa always said, better to fill your head with useless knowledge than no knowledge at all. McLean, Texas once had a large brassiere factory, and unofficially they were known as the uplift capital of America. And that factory is now the Route 66 Museum and the Devil's Rope Museum, a museum dedicated to barbed wire of all things. And perhaps the most amazing thing about that museum, it's actually interesting. And you will find yourself lost and you'll lose an hour or two, 3 hours. Easy. Thank you, Nolan. He says the Americana Motor Hotel is next to the site of the Mount Eldon Drive-In. So that's another little escapade. We mentioned the fall tour. I will be heading east. I'm speaking at the annual Route 66 Miles of Possibility Conference in Edwardsville, Illinois on Saturday, November 2nd. I will be talking about the evolution of Route 66 from highway to icon. Why Route 66? Why aren't we talking today about US 1250? Highway 2, 12, 6. Well, it's all about marketing. We'll talk about that in Edwardsville, Illinois. Some other great programs we got coming up. Carla Holmes and Sherry Cast from Gaylord University of Oklahoma University will be joining us on the 29th of this month. We're going to have a great conversation about their program that they've started. I met these two fascinating ladies when they were traveling Route 66 as part of a film crew, a great educational program that they are working to develop. I look forward to that conversation. October 6th, we're going to have Sean Evans of the archivist from Northern Arizona University with us. And we're going to be talking about, he is probably the premier expert on Two Guns, Arizona, along Route 66. And that promises to be a fascinating conversation. As a teaser, we're going to have tales of grifters, showmen, murder, and the evolution of roadside America with that program. Well, it gives you kind of a rundown on where we're at, what we've got going. See if there's any notes that I've missed here. And let's get to a couple quick questions that people have emailed or texted me, sent by text. How do you find things on Route 66? Route 66, for all its popularity, it does not exist. Officially, it hasn't since 1985. That's one of the things that's just more amazing about the highway. It's easy to get lost because there were various alignments of Route 66 over the years, and sections are truncated or bypassed. Some sections are county roads, farm roads, state highways. So my recommendation is always this. Grab a copy of the EZ66 Guide for Travelers by Jerry McClanahan and pony up. It's not that expensive. It's less than a good cup of coffee a day. Get a subscription to the Route 66 navigation app, route66navigation.com. Working with Marian Pavel, I've helped create some of the parts for this app, and I'm really careful what I put my name to or endorse, because my name's the only thing I've got of value. And so I'm very honored and to recommend Marian Pavel's Route 66 navigation app. And as a bonus, if it's your first trip on Route 66, there is a free travel planning guide available in more than 8 languages on the website, route66navigation.com, and it's downloadable as a PDF. So take a look at that. Do we have any questions, or anybody want to give a shout out for anything that I need to know about before we bid adios this beautiful Sunday morning? No, my travel plans, I will be in Goffs. This is a members kind of thing. Seating is very limited. This will be October 12th. Goffs, California, the Mojave Desert Heritage Center at the old Goff Schoolhouse. And yes, Jeannie, are you with us this morning? Well, we tried to get a phone call in there from Jeannie, but that's not working. Okay, well, anyway, I'll be in Goffs on the 12th, and I'll be talking about great adventures in the American West and Southwest between 1885 and 1930. I'm going to have kind of a fun program on that. And speaking of that, I'll be doing a similar program on the 19th at Yavapai College in Prescott, Arizona. That program is available on Zoom. You can find information on the Jim Hinckley's America Facebook page if that's of interest to you. And that program will be available on Zoom. And that's 12:30 Arizona time on the 19th. And, well, I think that kind of brings you up to snuff. Any questions? Any comments? No? Well, I want to thank Lisa for joining us this morning, taking time from day off. And this early for some people, lunchtime for me. And I want to thank everybody who joined us this morning. It's always great to have folks chime in and be a part of this. And the best adventures are those shared with friends. So I'm always glad when you guys can join us. If we don't have any questions or anything you want to talk about, I will bid you adios, mi amigos. We'll say goodbye with some road music from Joe and Woody and the boys of the road crew. And, well, we'll do this again next week. And don't forget, invite your friends, grab a cup of coffee. We're going to talk with Pam Mitchell. We're going to take a road trip to Kansas next week on Jim Hinckley's America. Coffee with Jim. See you then, my friends.
Say hello to a new friend on an old road. Take a 2-lane trip of memories into mysteries unknown. Come along for the ride. Jim Hinckley's America. Jim Hinckley's America.
Vaya con Dios, mi amigos. Have a great week. And Jessica May, hey, we hope that no more injuries.